coming out of my JoJo animes.
See,
but that's what I got.
Do you know what I didn't expect?
What did you not expect?
To be transported nowhere.
Yeah.
By a song I
have zero connection
never heard in my entire life. By an artist I had never heard of.
I just... Because it's like, dude, I mean, you know, you must have heard, like, maybe peripherally the song, All My Life, I pray for someone like you.
Yeah, probably.
But I thank God that I finally found you. That
one.
That one is totally Casey and JoJo, of which the group members that make up Jodeci are named for Casey, JoJo, Devante, and so on. So then they're like, I guess, yeah, let's pick the group that is from this era that has literally a member named JoJo in it.
Who's localizing JoJo?
Localizing? I mean, Crunchyroll.
But, like, who makes these decisions?
Oh, no, that'd be David Productions.
When they change the names for America.
Oh,
you mean like the stand names?
Yeah.
That's probably David Productions.
So not necessarily.
Like they give them a list of suggestions.
Because
whatever. Or no. It would be the licensing company. It would be like the equivalent of Viz or whoever.
As it is now, the names between fucking the game and the anime adaptations have all been consistent.
But that has nothing to do with their music choices.
No, I know that. I'm just saying, like, for that. I thought you were going to start with, I don't know about you, but I'm ready to start my 100-hour work week.
I actually did think that as well.
Yeah, we'll get there. But JoJo Part 5 started, and we've been really...
Why wouldn't you talk about that?
Come on now.
I've never worked a 100-hour week.
Come on
I don't
now.
want to.
I work close to one, but never a 100-hour work week.
I take it you didn't tune in, but
no, I mean, like you said Crunchyroll. I'm like, right, that's where it's at.
Yeah,
I don't.
So you know how the previous seasons of JoJo have been like all really cool with their outros,
of course,
right? Roundabout,
yes,
and then you get into Walk Like an Egyptian, and then so on and so forth.
Like my favorite.
It's great. Part 4, right? You get your fucking Savage Garden going.
Yeah. Wait, no, shut up. That's my favorite.
Okay, so Part 5 starts, and everyone's like, "What are we doing?"
Right.
And then the answer is 90s R&B, and it's literally like. The song's called Freakin' You by fucking Jodeci. This straight up, like, not Boys to Men, not 112, not Belle Biv DeVoe, not Another Bad Creation. Jodeci. Not Mario.
When's they're going to put Monica and Brandy's duet in there
The Boy Is Mine? That The Boy Is Mine can definitely that can work in like the last half of Part 6. You need to give it up,
or like Try Again by like Aaliyah.
Yeah,
why not?
You can go there. You can go into the R&B girls.
Everything's on the
divas.
buffet.
You can get diva with it.
Why not?
In fact, Part 6 should definitely get diva with it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but for now, Part 5 is just continuing this. Weird Italian. No, Jodeci is not Italian at all. But the vibes, the touching yourself vibes that you get, right? The R&B songs in the rain type of thing.
R&B is the thing
shirt
where you
open,
touch yourself.
Your shirt's open in the rain, and the wind is blowing everywhere.
Yeah. Seal.
Exactly, right? That is very Part 5. That's very Golden Wind.
Kiss 'em a rose.
All right.
The Golden Wind blows your shirt open.
Yeah.
Fuck that shit. Who cares about that shit?
Everybody does.
How do you feel about Fighting Gold?
Okay, Fighting Gold is absolutely amazing on first listen.
Yeah.
Most JoJo songs, you're like, these are great, and the ones that are winners, you can tell right away. Like I'd say, you can tell maybe two beats into the chorus. You're like, yep, we got a winner. Fighting Gold is exactly that.
I think it's fantastic, and yet I also think it is my least favorite. That's how high the bar is.
Wow.
On all of these.
It's really high. It really is high. But I feel like I got a vibe off of it that was very 007, right? In particular, when the chorus kicks in, it goes into, I want to say it goes into some of those flat notes almost, where they sound like they're not, it's almost like when you listen to certain songs, there's songs that are like more complete, like a pop song sounds like it starts here and then it ends here.
Yeah.
But then like End of the World builds up tension.
Yeah.
It's a tension builder because the series is coming to a close. So all the notes they play and the notes end off in strange, unnerving places. And Fighting Gold does that right away, right? Specifically when the chorus kicks in. It's a tension builder, and it's a fucking great song.
I should watch the intro at least.
It's really good.
You would think that would come in when shit was popping off, but they're starting off with a bang.
So
it's fucking great. And it's the Ava people.
Have you heard the English version?
No.
So Coda put up a version that they sang with different lyrics, completely 100% in English, and I think it sounds a lot better.
Cool.
Actually,
are they not accented heavily?
they are
Okay.
but they're pretty good. Like,
Okay.
like
That has its own
they're not
charm.
they're not Englishing it, like they're just heavily accented.
They're not pen paling it.
Yeah, and I think the English version actually sounds a little better. But so here's my task for you. When you say you love it and I say, oh, it's my least favorite, but it's still great. If it's not your least favorite?
Well, yeah.
put something under
below,
it.
and I won't do that.
Right?
I can't do that. I'm just
dump on your child.
You can't process it 1 week later. It has to.
You can process anything.
You have to. First of all, right? It's just this is the same thing with the first time you listen to an album, you can't make that call right away.
Yeah, you can't.
When you like someone's.
Wasn't everyone shitting on Crazy Bizarre Town, and you were like, "No, man, it's good."
It is.
Then everyone came around to it.
They're great, dude. Like honestly, and even Chase is like.
Chase had the wildest turnaround.
Because Chase for me was it was like the lyrics brought it the fuck back, right? And Fighting Gold has that similar thing going where you're like, oh fuck, they're talking about Dio right now.
Yeah, so the lyrics
this could straight up just be
the lyrics
Dio.
for part 5 are really interesting because just like Chase was about Kira and Josuke simultaneously, the lyrics for part 5 are what if Jojo part 1 Dio was the protagonist and he was the hero. What if Dio was the hero, which is
the thesis statement for a Golden Wind. So those lyrics fucking work fantastically for that. I would put it. I would argue Chase would be the earliest. Like I could go maybe a little bit above that.
Oh man, I think Chase is one of the best.
But I also I think it's too soon to do that. I really feel I believe in the digestion process.
You know what?
Right? When you listen to an artist that you love and you're comparing their latest album to the others that you've had for years, you can't possibly throw it up there.
Yeah.
Plus, with the other versions, you're associating the moments, you're associating the fucking time stop. Modifiers that apply to it.
I can
the
go
sound
back
effect versions of Bloody Stream.
I can go back. I hate sound effect versions.
I like them. I like them.
I can't stand them.
I like the variety. And the meaning of the visuals that you tie in.
Yeah.
And you're just associating so many more positive things with that song.
Well, here's the thing, right? In my mind, Fighting Gold can only go up because I didn't get that far in the manga. I only got to the part where Mista's fighting that guy in the truck.
Okay.
That bit.
Okay.
So, I don't know, what is that, a third-ish?
I don't remember how far.
Exactly. It's after the boat. It's after all that shit. So, I'm looking at the intro, and I'm like, that silhouette did a weird, and there's Trish, and I don't know, right? Whereas we watched part 3 and part 4's intros, and we didn't do nearly as good a job as Jeff did, obviously. But we're like, oh look, there's the Cheap Trick thing, and there's that.
Oh
thing.
well, when I sat down with Jeff and watched the master work, it was fucking incredible.
Does he just frame by frame it?
That's basically what we did.
Yeah.
And then rewind, and then we frame by frame again, and then rewind, and then talk until we go, oh my god, we're staring at the glass, and these objects of the friends that are walking are because Shigechi is now in heaven, staring down at the people that were his friends.
Oh no.
But
does it ever come around where it's has it ever happened where whoever has made or planned out intros or such in Japan go, no, we just wanted to make
something cool
thing,
yeah, I'm sure that happens.
Happened somewhere to someone.
Sure that happens, but so far the JoJo intros have been layered with more thought
stumped
process.
Wooly where we're playing something and it's really there was a guy who had a stand, not a JoJo thing, but he basically had a stand, and his stand was I'm gonna his stand when I'm going to stop you. And then the stand tried to kill its user.
Yeah.
And I said, where? And we went, and he couldn't really think of one.
I'm like, I said, late part 5, possibly.
Possibly.
If you want to get, but it's not direct, right? It's not direct.
There are stands that damage their user.
Yes.
So I would say
okay.
Cheap Trick would probably technically count on that.
Cheap Trick goes there.
Wanted to kill its user.
Notorious
Cheap Trick tries to kill its user.
Okay.
Notorious B.I.G. kind of has a little bit of that involved, but not completely.
That would make sense.
That's where my thought goes. But yes, Sticky Fingers, Zipper Man.
I did not know this, but apparently Sticky Fingers has nothing to do with the rapper. It is in fact a fucking Rolling Stone or Aerosmith thing. It's an album.
Oh, that's fair.
And the album has a big fucking zipper on it.
That makes way more sense.
Yes. Okay.
I'm not sure if Araki would be like, oh, I loved him in the Blade TV series.
You know, it does make more sense. I'll take that. But I've only personally known Sticky Fingers, so I never thought twice about it.
And it also throws you off because there's rappers that start appearing in part 5 onwards.
Yeah, exactly. I initially made the mistake of assuming that Gold Experience was based on Jimi Hendrix when it was clearly the Prince album. But
yeah, totally.
Yeah. But I fucked that up because Jimi Hendrix has an "Are You Experienced" reference going on. But either way, like the rappers start coming out, and then like it gets more contemporary with it until obviously, as you know, you've been told.
Then "Come With Me" from Puff Daddy shows up.
Can't wait
from the Godzilla soundtrack.
Can't wait for Flaccid Pancake.
These intros, if we're starting out this intense, I don't know what the fuck we're going to end on.
Because we got 2 more.
Because
you say that every time.
Because you think about like the mood of starting out on crazy noisy bizarre town, light. And then you're like, oh fuck, chase, yeah. And then Great Days is your epilogue, right? Your this is what the whole story has been about. And Fighting Gold feels like that should be.
Fighting Gold feels like an action anime.
It feels if Fighting Gold feels like it should be like the second
so
or
for
third.
Part 5, you feel like this might be like the last, like one of the last themes.
It's really intense. It really is. Yeah.
It's the intro music that will play when they fight the final boss, and the anime, fucking intro comes on, and you're like, "Fuck yeah, take it to the anti-spirals, Giorno."
Some people were asking. It is. That's pretty good. Some people were asking about how I felt about the fact that they're just kind of showing off the teams and their stands in the outro, like openly. And I'm like, you know what? Like, quite frankly, you know the formula at this point. You've been watching it for 4 seasons of multiple episodes.
Yeah,
it doesn't matter.
Also, in terms of weeks and episode count, like it's going to take a couple weeks before you meet most of the crew. But overall, you meet that whole crew really, really goddamn early. Like,
and in any JoJo,
1/10, 1/12 of the way through, you have the whole gang.
At this point, in any JoJo, you know how it's going to go in the beginning versus how it goes later on, right? Like the beginning is about building up your crew, and you pretty much
have wacky adventures.
Yeah, you have, and you're
build up my crew.
And when you meet certain villains, where you're like, oh, you're way too cool to go away.
Yeah,
you expect them to stick around.
You need to build up your crew so you can build down your crew.
There you go. Right. Plus, it's kind of been out there for years in terms of art, so it's hard to hide that shit. And then ultimately, until you know what they do, you know, like one guy is just flipping a gun around, and I'm sure anybody who has no idea what these parts are like, is that guy just using a gun?
That guy's using a gun, and it's like,
yes,
huge ass.
He's using a gun. He's just shooting things. What's that about?
It's like even if you go to a convention, you'll see figures of parts that you don't even know about yet.
Mm-hmm.
And again, I have to reference the fact that I'm watching the Saiyan Saga on YTV, and then a friend brings a VHS tape to high school, and it's the Metal Cooler movie. I'm like,
yeah, that
arms are getting ripped off.
That was an era though where like spoilers were the sickest shit ever.
Yeah,
because you had no fathomable concept of this like existing. Like, it wasn't like, oh, I was gonna get there eventually. This was just unavailable to you. And someone put a folder.
That's like
that didn't
4
exist
levels
down.
though, because it's Vegeta's here.
Right.
I'm still Vegeta's on his way where I'm watching.
Right.
And then B, they're blonde, and there's Cooler, who's the brother of who? And he's the metal version?
There's many things happening there.
Too much.
There's many things happening there, yeah.
He's the metal version of a guy I've never heard of a brother I've never heard of.
Because the original was too weak. What?
Who? You mean Frieza?
That would only cement in your mind Dragon Ball is the coolest thing in the world at that point. There's how do you beat this?
You lock it in. Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, all I gotta say so far, I guess, about part 5 is like, keep using those colors, guys. Those colors are bright and beautiful and not Moriocho.
So I'm thinking, in the colorized version of part 5, in the opening parts, is Giorno wearing the pink suit or the blue suit?
He's wearing it literally changes every chapter cover.
Yeah. Okay.
It's whatever
it keeps changing.
I'm just like I'm fascinated. They're like fuck it. Yeah. Just go for the pink.
More and like I'm happy that in show, I forget if it's a chapter art or if it happens in volume, but the first fucking Janet Jackson pose of like spread knees and like hands wrapped around your stand, embracing it as if you're fucking about to have a wardrobe malfunction with your own stand. Like, they had that right there in the show, and I'm like, I want these poses emphasized. I really want to show. I want everyone to see
my robot's dick off,
because they're just making out with their stands now. Because how are you gonna
Dutch rudders?
How you gonna defeat your enemies if you don't love yourself?
Yeah,
you know,
how the hell are you gonna defeat your enemies if you don't love your stand?
I have one last thing to say about part 5 episode so far. Araki continuing his ongoing trend and it being adapted properly that no one knows how to draw children.
I like
they
that.
beat up a 35-year-old man only to go, can you believe this child is doing drugs?
To be fair, that's just continuing what Fist of the North Star started, in the same way that that Jonathan is just Kenshiro. Like, Fist of the North Star started that adult has a child's body.
It's so weird.
No, the little girl.
The kids in Fist of the North Star, a lot of them have adult heads on child bodies.
Are you going by like the show or like the movies?
I'm going by the artwork of the manga.
Oh, of like Tetsuo Hara.
The original panels where you see Kenshiro walking with the little kid on his shoulder, and you're like, why is that an adult shaped skull?
Don't worry about it.
It's super weird.
I'm more familiar with the the animated stuff, so I've never actually, like, I've seen obviously panels of Fist of the North Star, but never actually read like a chapter.
Yeah. It's like, I feel like JoJo's just following right in that line with that.
The fucking Fist of the North Star artist, like, I don't think he's seen children, in the sense that when he draws a man, that's man right there.
Like, you get that if you go back and look at JoJo Part 1, like the manga. You read it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, fucking JoJo himself looks soft and freaky before the end of the part.
That boy ain't right.
Yeah, it's weird. He's got like a weird, like, bean head.
You mean
like it curves in weird ways?
Yeah,
like it's like
adult Jonathan.
No,
like
young Jonathan.
Young Jonathan.
Or teeny bopper
like his forehead sticks out too much and his chin sticks out too much, but the middle of his face goes back. I'm
remembering just the lighting differences. That's the main thing that stands out to me, is the way that entire part 1 was lit was like just completely different.
It sure was.
Dio's hair was just like this kind of
lit. That is.
Like, it was just one shape, and it was kind of like really, really not as. It's not the same blonde that they use later on, obviously.
Hell no, it's not.
And I mean, the lipstick wasn't there either.
If you sent people screen grabs of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? You would probably think that a couple of them were released farther apart than they were.
Yeah, they're not so far apart that they're not the same show, but because they always have like the cheek lines defined. But
they're becoming more
the art
defined.
style definitely changes.
Like, Giorno's child eye colors, like the top and the bottom, like mascara, are out of control in those flashbacks.
Also, there's that, right? But there's also the fact that as your protagonist hair gets more complicated, Like they're doing more work from panel to panel to keep up with all these insane lines, because the fucking tire that was Josuke's head in the previous part, they take
tires.
They take huge shortcuts in some shots. You know, they'd be like, "Fuck that stupid texture, we're not doing it." But
it's just black. His hair is fucking black.
It's like in the older cartoons where I'm not drawing these lines on Spider-Man. Fuck you.
Exactly.
Reminds me of certain times you'll see somebody with like a plaid, and then they'll just move, and you'll see the fucking plaid underlayer not move at all.
Yeah.
I know that was hard. I get it, but that might be the worst visual effect.
It's a stylistic thing in certain shows that works sometimes, but it depends on how loose the show is. If the show is meant to be realistic, then that looks terrible. But in more cartoon shows, it works. But yeah, with Paris Hilton head, it's fucking on point so far. The donuts are in place. The tail is swooshing. It's doing what it's got to do.
Man's got a lot of hair,
and he's got like his hair is only sort of complex compared to what happens later in this fucking thing. There are people whose hair just has inexplicable texture, and it's a part of their ability.
It's called style.
Like, I still don't understand what that, like there's a character in particular who has the most, like, insane hair, and it's not dyed a certain color, but there's just stars in it.
Fuck
just
you.
in the hair.
No.
Right? And furthermore,
in addition,
you go a couple parts down, and then you get a motherfucker whose literal hair is just newspapers. And I don't mean like drawn newspapers as the guy's head. I mean they took a newspaper, and that was
like in the manga.
Yeah, and they used that while they were cutting out the
maybe
fucking
they ran out of paper to print the manga, and they had to use newspapers.
They used newspapers as dot tone. And his hair is just fucking newspaper.
Wow.
What are you going to draw for that?
I don't know how they're going to animate that. They're going to need to use the underlayer technique for sure with that, right?
What a fucking enigma.
No, that's a different guy.
What are you going to do with that? It's going to be insane. So I want to stick around for that.
I hope I don't die.
Yeah, that's where I'm going.
Hey, listen,
I have to see newspaper.
This anime shit has been going a trucking better and faster than we thought it would.
Talk to me about skeletons.
I never in my fucking life thought that JoJo Part 5 would be out this soon, for example. Right?
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be a lot longer to Part 4. I thought it was going to be a lot longer to Part 5. Tell you about skeletons? You want to hear about skeletons?
Wait, real quick. Attack on Titan?
So I didn't watch it.
Okay.
And there's a reason for that, and I actually want to talk about that.
Okay.
The episode The Ruler of the Walls ends in such a way that it legitimately made me thought it was the end of the fucking season. And then it took a break. It didn't come out the fucking following week, which made me think it was the end of the season.
I thought so too. And
then I got people telling me yesterday, did you check out today's Attack on Titan?
Multiple moments in this season where you could end it there. Moments.
Right? And I go, huh? And then I find out that apparently, even though they're going to take a 6-month break after in this episode, it's still technically season 3.
That's insane.
I hate that.
That's insane.
So what happened was, remember, I believe this is my speculation, but remember a little while back where they talked about the reason why season 3 was so late is because they don't have the staff to work on it.
Got it.
They literally have half of the people to work on it that they had for the first 2 seasons. And
have you seen the quality though?
And I think that's what we're seeing. I think we're seeing we can do it, and then the people are doing their 100-hour work weeks and dropping like fucking flies, and they're like, maybe we can't actually do it. Okay, it's still the season, so the legal shit or whatever. But
I'm having a hard time thinking of a show that's jumped in quality this high, where the success of it every season has just infused it with more money.
The show looks like.
Why the fuck do they have half the staff when it's Attack on Titan?
So here's how. There's a lot of anime coming out.
I guess, but are they working on animes that are bigger than Attack on Titan?
No, I imagine they're working on animes that are more consistently produced than Attack on Titan.
Fair enough.
Right?
Yeah, go watch that.
Like that zombie rap anime with the idols.
As you can imagine, every episode of this season is insanely important.
Let's call them bomb droppers.
Every single episode is insanely key, and it continues to be that. And this one has some fucking powerful moments.
So I should mention, and only Wooly and a couple people who are up to date will get this. So do you remember the episode that we thought was the final?
Which one? There were many.
The one where it ends with a loss.
Yeah, sure.
There's a character that's on the floor and they've lost.
Yeah.
That was a manga panel that I saw at like episode 5 multiple years ago and went,
that's not even that you have no context.
No, but I was like, wow, cool. Okay. I better make sure to keep watching. Yeah, that's awesome.
I went back to season 2 to point out
just to see
just because I was talking with my girl and we were just going over like fucking great moments and there's just no way to I can't but like there's this one
part where Aaron yells was pretty good.
Well, it's season 2 episode, the most important part of the 6th episode of the 2nd season, right? So it's basically a nice like whodunit reveal.
Yeah.
But it's done in such a casual and intense manner.
So at the time of the podcast,
my favorite thing.
Like I think at the time of the podcast, like it came out. I don't think you had seen it quite yet. I was talking about it, and it's like it's this massive anticlimax.
It's just the best. I rewatched it. Right? For those of you who are in season 2, episode 6, I just rewatched the climax of that episode, and I'm like, I can't get over how much I love this moment.
It's played so fucking flat and boring,
and but it's also so human.
Yeah,
it's so insanely human,
which is ironic considering all the monsters running around. Am I right?
What a fucking that, and I feel like that was like, there's a couple moments in Attack on Titan that made me go like, all right, this is more than a dumb survival show, right? Like, you're stuck in the walls, monsters are trying to kill you. Yeah, okay. There's a bunch of those. Not really, but there's a bunch of death game things.
It's a goddamn zombie anime. It's a zombie kaiju anime.
And there's a couple of moments of, like, just really strong characterization that made me go, okay, this is more than that. And you combine that with the fact that I haven't mentioned it in a while, but characters that are smarter than you, consistently.
Spoke to a friend of mine who read the manga and confirmed that the season 3 that we are receiving is massively trimmed down from the manga. Like, we're talking half.
So
that arc when it was releasing sporadically, and it was really long. And it was not a bomb drop or a chapter. It was boring political stuff. I was getting ready for like everyone go get ready for the boring political, and I'm like, are you insane? This has been amazing, right?
But I guess if it's edited for pace,
been edited for pace.
That makes a lot more sense.
That's how you get a bomb dropper.
Because the quote unquote political boring stuff has been really important and good so far.
How anime has the ability to ruin by putting in filler, but also improving by
removing filler.
Yeah. Taking out filler.
Matt, like, this show has moments where you know that thing where you're like people talking in rooms?
I hate that.
Really far away. This is like, can we cut back to the room where the people were talking, please?
Yeah. I never started season 2. I finished season 1. I just never got around to it. But like, yeah.
I really want you to finish that sentence that the scene inexplicably cut away during.
It'd be a good time.
They started doing that in season 2, where a character will run up to all of our protagonists and go, "Oh my God, guys! I have the most important thing in the world to tell you. Listen up!" Cut to a day later, and they're all riding on their horses quietly.
Right.
Like, no, come on!
Yeah.
Fuck you! Now you're only gonna tell me when it's dramatic for me. But the characters will all know what's doing.
So therefore, the characters are then at that moment smarter than you because they have more info.
Exactly.
Okay.
And they're acting in ways that looks like they can predict the future, but in fact, they actually just knew what was happening, and you didn't.
So you know how JoJo's outclassed their opponents by learning the rules of the fight and then plotting shit way in advance.
Way too in advance, I might say.
Yeah. So, like, this is that on a squadron level scale.
Right. And so everyone's, like, multiple people are doing it.
And it's fucking great when you see it happen, because the only thing better than one person, like, outsmarting their enemy is the whole team outsmarting the others. I mean, and
that's an anime thing in general. Like, some, like, shonens will think of a plan, think of how the plan will fail, and then think of the backup plan because they know that the plan will fail, but they assume that the villain will not expect the initial plan to fail.
And it's whenever, again, there's always a fine line between, oh, that's horse shit, or, okay, fuck, you pulled it off. And, like, there's a Persona game that has a fucking, like, one that is like, you're bordering on horse shit, but I'll believe it. I'll believe it because you guys are pretty good.
Bullshit, but I believe
You're pretty good. All right. But ooh, you got real close. But I'm a fan of that. I'm a fan of, like,
that's high stakes.
Yeah, because it's anti-dumb shonen, right? It's anti-Naruto. It's anti-Bleach.
Like,
it's anti. My main character doesn't know what's going on, but everyone else does.
Even though there are still a couple of dumb characters, they're only dumb by the factor of their average intelligence. They're about as smart as you or I or whatever, right? They're not anime geniuses. But the smarter characters filled them in on the fucking plan.
Yeah.
So they're still like, okay, yeah, I'll shoot that guy, or I'll
do whatever you need to do. Yeah, and it's not the, like, everything has been clear for hours, and your main character's going, I don't get it, and then you have to do the slow, like, walk through handhold, or worse yet, the villain has to walk the protagonist through the plan.
That's no fun.
What do you mean?
Oh well. Well, actually, your plan failed due to this.
Skeletons.
So I didn't watch any more Overlord, but I did check out the second episode of Skullface Bookseller Honda-san.
I watched the first episode.
How'd you like it?
What did you think?
I think it's fucking great.
Yeah.
I think it's anyone who's worked a retail job feels their soul die. It is really just
it's the Agretsuko of
retail.
The retail role.
I got that vibe from one of the screenshots.
I mean, that's what I said last week, and this week was even realer because in the interim, like, mid-break, it's like, this manga was written by Honda-san, who used to work as a fucking bookseller. And there's a section of talking to his editor where it's like, I want to draw the skeleton more cute. And he's like, no, just draw the skeleton working hard.
That's a normal skeleton.
But, like, today's episode was about how hard it is to stock the books as they come in during the day, and how some of my coworkers can't handle my section because I stock the American comic books, and those things are fucking crazy heavy. Like, that's what this anime is about.
That's true.
And it's fucking great. It's fucking great. There's no reason why anyone should not watch that. Unless you...
If you're really scared of skeletons, maybe you shouldn't.
Maybe, but even then... It is don't give up skeleton.
Does anyone acknowledge the fact that he's a skeleton?
No, in fact, every single person at the store is some form of goofy generic monster.
Great, yeah.
There's there's gas mask senpai, and then there's Kitsune-san, and
that's not what I was expecting. But there's
bandage girl.
I wanted no one to acknowledge
a few random humans here and there, but
I wanted no one to acknowledge the fact that he's a skeleton. I like that.
No, the fact that he's a skeleton is immaterial.
Moot.
It is a visual flair only.
Good. Good.
Yeah, it's great. I also watched, if we're going to talk about shows that we watched, about 40 more episodes of Hunter x Hunter. Jesus.
So you're all caught up.
No, okay, wait, not 40, more like 20. We got to 61, 62.
Well, that's less than half.
Yeah, you're right, but there's a lot to go. There's 148. So
you can do it. I believe in you.
There's things in this that Wooly would like a lot.
Of course there is.
In particular... There is one, like, 2 or 3...
Because there's a ton of characters, so you have to love one of them.
No, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the way that certain arcs are handled and the way certain themes are brought up.
Yeah.
There is literally a character who Alex Valle gatekeeps a fighting game tournament.
Okay. All right.
There is literally a villain who sits in front of the bracket sign-up and says, no, you may not sign up for the bracket today.
I feel like you need to buy some sort of Hunter x Hunter merch and wear it whenever these segments start.
So
I feel like you need to get a hat with Gon on it, and every time you start talking about this, you have to put the Gon hat on.
I don't like Gon.
No, you have to.
He's not...
This is the punishment.
He doesn't even stay the main character for the whole series.
I'm going to buy you a Gon hat, and you're going to put it on every time you talk about this.
I will wear a Kurapika or Killua hat.
No,
I will not wear a Gon hat.
That's not what this is about. This is not about your pleasure.
God, why is it gotta be Gon?
No, it's not.
It's gotta be anybody but Gon.
It's gotta be Gon.
Because it's not about the fun.
And the fishing rod has to be in the hat shot. It has to be in the art.
The other thing that I can think of that would actually very much appeal to you is that there is a multi-arc storyline about that guy who Virgil'd you, essentially.
Yep.
I just want to hit him once. The entire arc and theme is I just want to get one good hit. That's it. And if that happens, I can fucking go home and be like, yeah, I got a hit in. That guy's tough, but I punched him once.
Is Killua a cool killer kid?
Yeah, he is.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Just checking.
And Kurapika makes Sasuke look really bad. So if Naruto came afterwards and ripped off these characters, then I don't know what the fuck the Naruto author was doing because he made the characters very boring by comparison.
I want to say I wish My Hero came first, but I don't think it would have been possible.
It needed
Marvel Cinematic Universe needed to happen.
The
first.
shoulders of bullshit tripping giants.
It stands. Hero Academia stands on the shoulders of One Piece and Hunter x Hunter and Yu Yu Hakusho, and then it was gonna put its foot or hand on the shoulder of Naruto and Bleach and went and recoiled.
Well, as long as the terra firma beneath them is Dragon Ball,
I think in this analogy, Dragon Ball is like the Earth.
That's what I mean.
It's the floor.
It's the core.
The ground.
It's the core. Yeah. And I mean, obviously, you can go back to the 70s for your shonen action, but Dragon Ball is that formulaic version. I think.
I also
the popular version.
This is gonna get
if your Arc 2 introduces your villain hero rival and then a fighting tournament starts to demonstrate all the new cast. Come the fuck on.
It's the easiest way. It's a veritable who's that your anime.
Did you like any of these casts? Well, how about these?
These are prepared for you.
Just Will Smith Hitch presenting
one of the
characters.
last parts of the Hunter exam after they have the big survival thing in the forest is they all file into a room and have a tournament between it. It is literally exactly the same as Naruto. It is identical.
Fuck it.
Naruto ripped that shit off.
What always it's surprising me less and less, but at the time it surprised me was finding out about how if you read Yu Yu Hakusho, Yu Yu does not at all start it's gonna go into a fighting tournament.
No,
but it just gets there anyway.
It starts like Bleach.
It's a fucking
and then becomes a tournament.
It's a detective fucking story.
Yeah, right.
There's an evil doctor somewhere,
and it gets literal tournament fighters in the shape of video games because they're like, fuck it. Well,
and, it just goes there. Flame of Recca is yo, we're gonna be doing just a quick vengeance story, no biggie. Right? It's about your mom and shit.
And we're stuff like Grappler Baki and
fighting tournament.
And fucking Hajime no Ippo is all it is tournaments, really.
Yeah.
And you want to look at the other stuff that's in between the lines.
See, because those go into, I feel like those the Venn diagram overlaps with sports anime there.
Yeah.
Right? Because the sports anime is it's about you getting good at the profession, and the journey into the profession will take you into a tournament at some point.
Mm-hmm. It's going to happen.
It's
and even if it's not a tournament, it's I went to Soul Society and a bunch of other sword fuckers are standing around.
So we had a tournament.
A bunch of random battles are waiting around.
Hunter x Hunter's version of that is so honest and so straightforward as of I just want my characters to fight in a tournament. It's the most straightforward one I've ever seen. A character says, boy, we're broke. You want to go to the World Fighting Tower thing? We could make money there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Done and
I
done.
hope we don't have any zany adventures.
Yeah.
At Fighting Tournament World.
Like I don't know if I assume One Piece has a bunch of that,
I watched a bunch of One Piece and did not encounter it.
but it always sounded to me like it was your tournament was just sailing to a new island.
Yeah, it's a new island. There's new fighters here.
And some new bullshit.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, with a new hierarchy to get through.
What else was I going to say? So, I got to go through this because it's important. Wooly, you like stands. Matt, you like stands.
I'm ordering the hat right
Everybody
now.
likes stands, yes?
Right now.
Stands.
Okay. Why do you like stands?
Because it's like a cool spirit power of what you want to do, but it's
And
outside of your body.
You can be lazy too.
There you go.
You can point and be posy and cool while they do all the work.
Okay.
See, that's a good one. Let's compare that to Naruto and Bleach's fucking
You got to work hard.
magic bullshit, which is always just, I have a magic, pretty much. Right?
So, yeah, guess what? Chakra turns into stands later.
Yeah, but what I mean is like, hey, why are you able to do your fire breath attack? Because I learned how to do a fire breath attack, Naruto.
Sure.
How come you can make clones? Because I learned how to make clones.
And I always hoped, I remember being like, oh, cool. Ichigo's sword is a dude. Zangetsu's a person.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, he's going to hang around and be a badass, right? Is he going to kind of know?
How come you go real fast now, Ichigo? Because I learned how to go real fast, right?
So-
And that is somewhat unsatisfying. With stands, you always have the weird ones or the weak ones, which people apply in goofy ways, which are always my favorite. So Hunter x Hunter splits the difference. It has the most complex, like, magic backstory system of anything I have ever seen to basically just give you stands without the person. Like,
Is it not magic?
it is called Nen, which is magic, whatever.
Yeah, sure.
But what I mean is that
Skeet.
say in Naruto, hey, I learned the clones and I learned the fire breath. And I learned how to turn into a big dog or whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
Why? Because shut up. There is an actual in-universe skill tree and skill chart and sphere grid. The magic bullshit I'm talking about has a actual sphere grid with percentile chance of learning moves. And
Okay.
it is a hexagon of six classes.
So there's a point later on that, like, when they start explaining chakra, and they go like, this element plus this element equals this hybrid,
Yeah, that's a ripoff.
and these two together create. So they add an element of science to the magic bullshit.
Yeah. So the way that they
Is it like that?
They get out of this way early before a single person ever does it. I shit you not. They sit you in a literal classroom for 2.5 episodes, and a character goes,
Sorry, 2.5.
2.5.
Okay.
And they go, this is how you turn it on. This is how you shoot it out. These are the 6 types: enhancer, transmuter, emitter, conjurer,
etc., etc.,
And
etc.
specialist, and I forget the 6th one. But these guys
Bard. I was about to say.
these guys make things better. These guys move things around. These guys conjure objects. And then there's your 6th category for all the weirdos.
Hufflepuff.
The weirdo category, right? And it establishes a system in which, hey, you're this. You can be good at all of these and only kind of good at some of these.
Okay.
So it has natural counterpicks in the system.
Okay. Yep.
But, like, a guy pulls out a chart and says, since you're a conjurer, you only have a 40% chance of learning any transmitter technique. And even if you learn it, you can only do it at half power.
So let me guess. Like, this leads to a big fight of some kind where the fucking God King, unstoppable Lord of Rock, just happens to face off against Paperman.
That literally happened in the last episode that I watched.
It's so predictable. unstoppable.
Yeah.
It's like, this guy's unstoppable, but he just so happens
There's a hard
to
counter.
fight, and it's called an Uchiha.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. Oh, no. You would have lost if not for the fact that you were made of scissors.
No, not like that. It's not hard counters. It's soft counters, rather. It's not like this just beats that. It's just this skill set tends towards this. This skill set tends towards that.
You just have a
Okay, so it's not rock, paper, scissors. It's a 7-3 matchup.
Right. So
it's a 9-1 matchup.
So
there's a chance, but you got to be perfect.
So and it's basic. It's just stands without stands. That's all it is. It's just because like.
Sure.
How
awesome was it? How much did you love it?
One of the strongest guys ever. All he does is stick objects to other objects. That's literally the only trick that he uses.
Oh man, I found a good hat, but it's currently unavailable. You're fucking lucky.
It is pretty good, is what I'm saying.
Found a nice one.
Yeah, but doesn't that like hold it like if they have this rules to this sphere grid they have to abide by? Doesn't that limit the amount of?
It would limit them, but like the fucking concepts are incredibly vague.
Okay,
the concept of enhancing. What can you enhance? Yourself, any object, anything around you.
Okay.
I got a question, and I don't think we are gonna have the answer, but someone out there might. Has there ever been a system like this in an anime where a character respects their entire setup? Has there ever been a like, you know what? Fuck
I
it.
can think of in a game.
Yeah.
No. Jin Kazama unlearning.
That's the best example in games. But no, I'm talking. Is there an anime where someone like respects their entire class and fucking puts the points somewhere else at some point?
I want to become the healer character now.
I feel like that's
nothing's hidden.
Okay. Well,
but yeah, Hunter x Hunter's great. Once you have the urge to watch more Hero Aka and there isn't more Hero Aka to watch, you should probably pick it up.
I will not.
Okay.
But
I also won't.
I know that.
There are other things.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like if I ever do it, I have to do it with John right there. I feel like I have to do
148 episodes.
Yeah.
Well, that's not going to happen.
Yeah, well,
you can do it over Discord.
Well, that's the point of setting impossible goals.
Oh,
but you have a chance of doing it.
But I will do it sitting down with Eye Patch Wolf properly, so that he can do the thing where he stares at me every time something cool happens to see if I'm reacting to it or not. Where you're looking at my face.
But then you're just on your phone.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh.
When people are on their phone and you're watching them for the cool thing to happen, I just want to slap the fucking phone out of
Because I always yell, like, you're missing the jokes.
But if I know you're looking at me, I'll fucking pull my phone out on purpose. You know what's worse than that?
What's worse than that?
Sitting down to fucking watch some anime, and it's obviously in Japanese, so you have to read the subtitles and catch what's going on. And my girl happens to be the type that's like, I'm gonna look all the way into my bowl of food while I'm eating and get a nice big scoop up, and then look back up, and then eat, and put it in my mouth, and stare at the plate, and then look back up a little bit, and I'm like, stop, pause. What are we doing here? Are we reading? Like, it's not. It's just like I'm like it's not to be like that annoying, like watcher,
but also to be that annoying.
But
watcher.
like, you literally didn't see the last 10 seconds, you know. And you don't speak Japanese.
Put food aside, woman.
I get irrationally upset when the people around me are like, "Hey, let's watch this," and then they do anything but stare at it with rapt attention. It makes me go crazy.
It's if I know if I know you have to read subtitles and you're staring at your fucking food, like, no, back it up. All right,
watch the dub. Then.
Let's finish this off.
You know what's really,
or let's put that in. Let's get some kind of like Slurpee shake going. Or
you should get see-through bowls and silverware.
Oh, so you can
plates.
like peek through it.
Yeah,
you know what?
Can't you get any clear plates, Wooly?
You know what the actual worst one is? And I've dealt with this with so many people, and they're like, okay, hey, let's watch this. Okay, we're watching it. Okay, it's a good show. All right. They get up. They got to go to the bathroom. Oh, don't worry about it. Don't just fill me in. I'm like, no!
Yeah.
No!
Yeah.
I don't want to fill anyone in.
Yeah.
That's the worst experience.
Pause that shit. Well, generally, it depends on what it is. Like, if it's like a stand-up special on Netflix, I'll just turn the volume up. But ultimately, yeah, pause the fucking shit, you know.
Makes me go crazy.
All right.
You watch any anime?
What's going on?
I guess we're doing an anime watcher.
Not.
Oh, okay.
I watched horror.
Is that an anime?
No, it's
You
not.
can sometimes overlap the two, but
Yeah,
I don't think
I've watched Monster. I've watched Elf and Lied. That's it.
Yeah, I don't think anything's piqued Matt's interest recently.
But like, yeah, no.
In the land of Nippon.
Skullface Honda-san did, but
Agretsuko as well.
and Greg Gretsuko. But no, I watched the new Netflix horror movie called Apostle.
House on Haunted Hill,
I did that as well, but Apostle.
or The Haunting on House
The
Hill.
It's the Haunting of Hill House. The Haunting of Hill House.
You're doing it, man. You're really.
No, there's a movie called House on Haunted Hill.
Yeah, there is.
And then this
From
thing is
1999 with God,
who was it?
Corky Romano.
Actor
Corky Romano.
Yeah, sure.
From SNL. Anyway, he was in it.
God. Fuck.
Who is the guy?
Mango.
We're saying all of his characters and the other brother from Night at the Roxbury, not Will Ferrell.
God damn it, Mango. What's your real name?
Mango.
The teacher that comes in and goes, Popkis.
Why do I want to say Kyle Katarn? That's wrong.
It's not
Chris Kattan?
It's not Chris Kattan.
That's why I wanted to say Kyle Katarn.
Close enough.
Oh, if Chris Kattan was Kyle Katarn, fuck.
What if Kyle Katarn was Chris Kattan?
What if Kyle Katarn was Corky Romano? Anyway, Apostle is a horror film that is written, directed, and produced by the writer and director of the Raid movies.
I see.
And you're like, okay, well, I can't wait for a slow burn British cult horror movie, because that's what this is.
Oh.
Very much the opposite of the Raid.
Departure.
And the Raid. It's probably because he's like,
I did it.
I beat it.
We did it. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, we won't go into too much because it's kind of like a mystery thing, but it was really, really good. It stars Dan Stevens, who is in Legion, if you've seen a bit of that.
Did not,
clips or
but I
whatever.
remember your recommendation.
But he's an incredible actor, and it's like, yeah,